Hey everyone, my name is Vincent and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're completely new, and this is my annual BreyerFest Haul video. As you may have known, I've been going to BreyerFest the last 10 years. This has actually been my 10th anniversary. I've been going overseas for the last 10 years, except for COVID obviously, but it is absolutely unbelievably and mind-blowing to me that I was able and lucky enough to travel so many times to the States. It's always the highlight of my year. So without further ado, enjoy watching this haul video, and then we're gonna fill these shelves in the background with all the new models. Can't wait. So we're starting off again with models that I got before BreyerFest, and this was the first purchase I did last year in December for Winterfest. That was the first time Brier did Winterfest, and this is one of their exclusive models. It was an online event only. Only now I'm realizing he's got this really weird, almost eyebrow to him. Now that I look at him in the camera, you can see how they like painted almost an eyebrow. Anyways, except for that, he is actually really cute. So his show side is actually really cute. He is just solid white. He is glossy. He's got a brand mark because he's based on a real horse. And I think he's just overly really pretty. I love Christmas and he just looks like snow and a horse to me. So I really like him. Continuing with glossy, we have this glossy Stagecoach surprise model from BreyerFest last year. This was actually my favorite color last year, which is I think the Max Sabino. I found this guy really cheap online, and he's got a few flaws, but since I'm a glossy person and don't really show this mold anyways, I just really wanted him for the collection because I always try to get all the surprise horses that I like in glossy. So yeah, here's his very pretty blue eye. I think he's just really, really stunning. Then I was able to get a grade of mine that I had for years. And I found this guy online as well. This is on Inconspicuous, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He's a connoisseur model, and I've always wanted this guy because he's an Appaloosa, kind of. He's a Pintaloosa, but one of the only connoisseurs that I still really wanted. You can see his number on his belly. What's this number? It's 322 from 350. And he's very pretty. I got him fairly cheap. I think I paid $300 because he's got a few flaws. I don't know if you can see this in the camera. It's probably really hard to tell, but he's got almost like a seam split on his head, and he's got a few shiny marks over his body. But since I will probably not like show him, I just wanted him for my collection, and I'm really glad that I got him because I think I'm only really missing one connoisseur model now that I really want. And I think the connoisseur series was the peak from Brier, and their paint jobs are just so detailed and amazing, and this guy is no exception. He is very pretty. Then we move on to the CCA appreciation sale that Brier has every year, and that means if you buy any merchandise in I think a value of $150, you get a free glossy model. And this was my favorite from this year, which is the Ideal Stock Horse Appaloosa. I don't even know what his name is, to be honest, but I think he's really pretty. I obviously, with my Brier luck, didn't pull this guy. I pulled Frisian glossy, so I traded this guy at BreyerFest, which was really handy, so there was no shipping involved. And I think he's really cute. He looks very dark in the camera right now because my light is not the best, but he's glossy, he's an Appaloosa. I think it's making his color really pop because it's very dark and rich, and I just really like him. So I'm really glad that I was able to trade him. And talking about CCA, I just bought a bunch of bodies in order to get the glossy model, but I also bought these two guys, and I actually stopped collecting classics a while ago and I sold all of my classics, but these are just absolutely stunning. These are the new Brier Arabian Freedom Series, classic size, whatever you want to call them. Sculpted by Sarah Mink, and she is a genius. I think these are absolutely freaking stunning. They are so detailed. I mean, I love unicorns and rainbows, but I cannot wait to see them come out in different colors. I think like everything about these horses is stunning. Like, they are obviously absolutely realistic and detailed, but it's just the movement of the tail, the movement of the mane. It's, for me, the baby as well. Look at the tiny legs and the movement of the baby, and he is able, or she is able, to stand by herself. I think it's such a dynamic piece, and it just really speaks like Arabian to me. This is just absolutely stunning. So I really couldn't pass them, and I was like, you know what? I just have to get them, even though I do not collect this scale anymore. I just really had to get these two because they are absolutely freaking stunning. Okay, now we're moving on to BreyerFest itself. I got 3 BreyerFest tickets, which means I got 3 of the celebration hauls and 6 special runs. This is the only celebration hauls I kept. I always keep 1 of my celebration hauls in a box just as a memory. And this was a really nice copy. In general, I thought that they had a really good amount of nice Athenian ladies. I went actually through the boxes. The lady was really lovely, so I tried to pick up really good copies. And this box was damaged a bit in my suitcase on the way back to Germany, but overall I'm actually quite happy that it doesn't look too smashed, because some of my other celebration horses, their box is completely ruined through traveling, but this lady looks really nice still. One of the first special runs I got was this guy, and I was really excited about this guy because he was one of my favorite special runs from this year. But I have to say, I am a bit disappointed. First of all, he was a matte and glossy split run, and I love glossy, so I was actually really afraid that I would end up with a matte copy. Even though they are more rare, I really just wanted a glossy. And he looks really nice, do not get me wrong. It's just something about the face that's bothering me. I don't know if it's the product pictures or if I just didn't pay any attention to it beforehand, but the pink spots that he's got on his eyes and on his mouth just look really artificial to me. I don't know why. He doesn't look as realistic as I expected through the pictures. I don't know, it just threw me off a bit, but he's still a very nice and very detailed model, and I'm glad that I got him in my collection. Next on, we have the decorator of this year, which is this super colorful purpley zebra decorator, or whatever you want to call it. It's really exciting to have this main version for the first time on this mold. And it's a really fun and cute mold and model, and I just had to get it obviously because I love zebras and the stripes and decorators, or she's a lot, to be honest. I almost would have loved if the base color would be kind of more white to give more of the rainbow striping more of an effect. I almost think the green is kind of distracting from it a bit, but it is a very cool and unique model overall, and I absolutely adore the eyes. They just look really realistic. They're these blue colorful eyes, and obviously it's glossy and it's nice and it's sparkly, so overall I can't complain. Moving on to my absolute favorite from this year, the Quagga. I Will Survive, I believe it's its name. And as you know me, I'm a big fan of zebras, of Zeuses, of all the breeds and mixes in between, and I've got obsessed with Quaggas thanks to Tegan over the last few years and the Quagga project, and I think this is such a nice homage to the project. I think it's a very nice execution of a Quagga itself. I love the zebra mold. It's old, but it's quirky. It's a really fun model, and I'm really glad that I was able to get one. They had a lot of her leftover at the leftover sale on Sunday, and I was actually thinking about buying a second one, and I'm kind of regretting not getting a second one, maybe even just as a body, because even the zebra itself is hard to get now. And I don't think you will be able to tell in the camera, but it almost got like this weird rub on his muscle. Luckily it's kind of going with the movement, but it's almost like a V shape, and it looks like the color was rubbed off. It's not very noticeable, which is fine, but I still would have liked to have almost a perfect copy. And I was able to see the real Quagga, or one of the only real Quaggas left in the world, which is exhibition in the zoo in Berlin. And it was really fun to see the comparison of the model to the real Quagga, which is obviously sadly extinct by now. And then we move on to the surprise horse. So in general, I wasn't a big fan of the surprise mold this year. I like the Appaloosa, the Cremello, and the clear green deco. And with my 3 special run tickets that I mentioned earlier, I got 2 of the matte Appies, I believe, and 1 Cremello. So I wasn't really happy with my selection. I like Appies, so I was like, oh, I'm kind of happy with the Appies. So I went through the second chance sale on Sunday again, and I bought 2 more, I believe, and I ended up with a Wild Bay and this glossy Appaloosa. And I'm kind of glad that I got the Appaloosa in glossy in the end, because as you all know, I'm a big fan of Appaloosas. It's just something about the spots that is turning me off about this guy. I don't really know why. They're just really big. I know that Appaloosas come in big spots, but to me it almost looks like this is too big for this mold. I don't know why I'm thinking this. It's again, a very fun color, and again, I'm glad that I pulled him or her myself in glossy, but it's not my favorite special run in the world. And then, as I mentioned, I got 2 appies, and I was able to trade the 2 matte appies for a glossy cremello because I just really wanted a cremello. I did end up getting 1 matte cremello, but I think the glossy is just nicer. Even though you can't really see it in the camera, she is glossy. And I think overall this might actually be my favorite color from this year's special run. I sadly didn't end up with the Deco Green yet. Maybe I'll be able to trade it later on. And it's just something about blue eyes that Brier, I don't know why. I mean, they look realistic, but they always look kind of fishy. If you just compare it to the Appaloosa, if they would just give them a little bit of white in the corner of the eye, as they do with the other eye, if my camera would focus, I think it would help a lot, not make it look too creepy. But anyways, they're both really cute, they're both glossy, so can't really complain. Moving on to the store specials. So this guy was the only store special that I bought this year. And what I like about BreyerFest and the store specials is that you can look through all of them and try to find some sort of variation. I got a really nice variation of Viva La Tia last year. And for this guy, it was just really hard because they were barely like painted, because obviously they're all gray. So I wasn't really able to find any nice variation within them. This one just had a really nice dark mouth and a really nice pink nose. That's why I chose this copy. This is the first model that I own on this mold. It's a really cute mold. It's way bigger and heavier than I expected. It's got this really nice flowing mane that I like. So yeah, overall I'm happy with it. And I do like the original pony, you can almost say, already as well, that was shown at BreyerFest. It's really tiny compared to the Brier model itself, but it's a really cute real horse. And then we get to my second favorite model, I guess, of this year's BreyerFest, which is a blue Zeus, which I think is a lot of people's favorites from this year. He was the online BreyerFest store special exclusive limited edition. I think that's what they call them these days, to be honest. He is really pretty. Again, the Fireheart mold is just stunning. Brier just is really good at the roaning now. He is this really dark blue roan. The roaning is nice. I like that they gave him some sort of like brownish touch on his legs, which make it look more realistic because it's not just the bare white plastic. If my camera would focus, there we go. And yeah, he's just overall really nice and detailed, and yeah, I think Brier did a great job with him. I think the eye could have been more realistic maybe, but it's a store special, not a BreyerFest special run, so it's fine. But yeah, he is really, really pretty. Okay, now we're moving on to BreyerFest purchases that I did throughout BreyerFest or within the US while I was there, before and after BreyerFest. So first of all, I want to show you this absolutely stunning glossy Astrid Bella Rose, I believe is the model name itself. So this was a prize model for the open show this year. They always gloss 2 regular run Briers, and this year it was this Bella Rose. Is it Bella Rose? I don't honestly know. And the Full Moon Rising. And it's obviously my Brier luck always that last year I did the open show for the first time, and I was lucky enough to win 2 glossy models, 2 champions, a reserve and a champion. And I didn't like any of the glossy models, so I sold them. And this year I liked both of the glossy models, this Astrid and the Full Moon Rising. And with my luck, I obviously didn't get any champions, therefore no glossy models. And I was really devastated. It wasn't a really nice overall open show experience. So my lovely friend Lauren, she gifted this guy to me in a way. We ended up in doing a trade, and I'm really glad that I was able to add this model to my collection, because otherwise I wouldn't probably have bought it. It's really cute and adorable. Again, I really would have liked that one of my own works wins this, but this is my first open show prize model that I now own in my collection, which is really exciting, and I'm glad that I was able to get this guy through a friend. So thanks again, and I'm really glad that I got him. And then we talked earlier about the Brier store where you can buy your limited edition models. They also have regular runs, which is where I got this guy, I forgot his name as well, Coka or something. The original horse was supposed to be at BreyerFest, but he passed away just a few days before BreyerFest, which was really sad and devastating, because I would have loved to meet the real horse behind him. And in the Brier store, they always have multiple copies. So I liked that I was able to go through them and pick my favorite copy. And I found this really dark version. He's got a really dark dorsal stripe and like a really dark mane and tail. So he just had to come home with me. The only issue is when I unboxed him, he had some sort of like weird mold things on his eyes. So I tried to get it off, and he's got like 2 big rubs now over his eyes. So that's not nice. Overall, I also tried to find a copy that has a really nice combination of mane and necks, because some of them had like a really weird Dremel part. So he is a really nice, stunning copy, except for the eye now, but it's a very nice mold, and the color suits this mold really nicely. So again, I don't really mind it too much. He might even end up being customized at some point, but for now he will stay OF. Talking about regular runs, this guy I found really cute as well, and we went Brier shopping before and after BreyerFest. And I was able to get this guy after BreyerFest in one of the tech shops that was close to my friends that I was staying with in South Carolina. And I knew that I could get this guy obviously in Germany because he's a regular run. But I was like, if there's a nice copy that really just strikes something or like is really different, I will end up buying him in the US instead of Germany, because I cannot choose the model itself in Germany. I can just buy it online. And it might be hard to tell in the camera, but he's got this really cute, a lot of like pinkish freckles on his mouth. It's almost like they didn't spray him with black afterwards, because or on his mouth at least, because all the other copies had like this really faded pinking, and he's got like a lot of pinking on his mouth, which I absolutely loved. So I was like, I just have to get this guy. He's really cute. The first couple I saw on this mold, and I think it just suits him a lot. So I am really happy that I was able to add him to my collection. And as I just mentioned, we went Brier shopping before BreyerFest, and my main aim was to get Picante. I was actually really excited for her to come out before BreyerFest. She is the brick and mortar exclusive, which means she was only available in the US through specific stores. And we found her in one of the stores, and they had 2 copies, and this was a really nice one. It's got like this really nice smooth rounding. Compared to the other one, she was so much nicer. And I was also lucky because a lot of them have box rubs on the offside, so she doesn't have any box rubs. She is really cute, and I love this mold and I love the color. So I'm really glad that I was able to add her to my collection and get her while I was still in the States. Can we focus on her cute face, please? There we go. That's her cute face. Isn't she just so pretty? I love her. One thing except Brier stores that I really like in the US are antique malls or antique shopping in general, because you can stumble upon Briers, and this year was no exception. We went antique shopping through multiple stores, and I ended up buying one Brier in one of the stores, which is this cute little unicorn. I'm not a huge vintage person, but I do love unicorns. And this one is, I believe, some sort of exclusive, JCPenney, I cannot remember. We looked it up in the store. But he is really nice, like he's got this really nice pearly tone. And for his age, he is in really good condition. He doesn't have any rubs. He was fairly cheap, I believe. Honestly, I think it was like $15, $20. I cannot recall. But I do have a video of the antique shopping as well as the Brier shopping on my TikTok if you want to check that out. Yeah, I just had to get him. Isn't he just super adorable? It's a laying unicorn foal, and he's got like a tiny beard, and not something that I would usually buy or collect, but it was a really cool find, and I just had to have him. We are already moving on to my favorite purchase of BreyerFest. I did not really do any BreyerFest Clarion shopping, because I was actually at the Artisans Gallery for the first time, which was a lot of fun, but that also meant that I had absolutely no time to go room shopping. But I did end up getting a grade of mine that I've wanted for years and years and years, kind of through the Clarion, actually kind of afterwards. So this is a sham. She's a volunteer model from 2017 on the Brier Weather Girl mold. And I always love when Brier tries something new or different, and she's got this bloody shoulder. And I was always obsessed with her. And I saw her at BreyerFest, I believe it was 2022, for like $800 to $900 in the Clarion rooms, and that is still a lot of money, but I was not able to afford her back then, and I kind of regretted it since, because the last couple of years her price has been increased a lot, and some of them online went for $1,200 to $1,300, and I was really not willing to pay that much. I saw her in one of the rooms and I knew who owned her, so I reached out to her and we tried to come up with a trade solution, but we couldn't decide on a trade. But she ended up taking my offer, which was really low. Well, I got her for $850. Let's just put it out there, because that's kind of the max I wanted to pay, and that's the max I saw at BreyerFest a couple of years ago, and she agreed to that price, and I was really happy about it because not only is she really nice, but also she's been in my budget. So I was really happy that I was finally able to add her to my collection, because I've already wanted her last year and I was not able to find her at all in any of the rooms. And let's just take a closer look at her. She does have some like factory flaws. You can see there's like a paint splash thingy, but that's just due to like her flea bitten color. And I'm actually really happy because some of the stapling that I've seen on this mold are like really awkward, but these staples actually blend in really nicely within the color. So I am actually really happy that I've got this really nice copy of her. She's just overly stunning and pretty, and now even looking at her now, I cannot believe I own her now. So now we are moving on to my very last model of this haul video, which is actually no Brier. It is a Peter Stone model horse, and this is the very first Peter Stone model horse that I own. I don't know if you guys have seen it maybe on my Instagram or my TikTok. I was lucky enough to win the Art of the Horse competition that the Stone Company was hosting this year at BreyerFest. It was open to internationals, which is why I was able to enter, and the winner got this gorgeous Palomino Ideal Stock Horse Golden goodness. It's limited 1 to 6, I believe. There's just 6 prize models out there. It is really, really pretty. It's got this golden sheen to it on the mane and tail. It's not, you can't even see it too much in the camera. It's looking more faded in the camera than it is in real life. So this is this really nice mix of almost, this is a realistic horse color, but it is also kind of decorator-ish because it's so golden. It's got a lot of details on the mold itself with like veining and really nice shading. So I'm overly really impressed, and the eyes are also really nicely painted. So overall, I'm really happy with this guy. He came with like this massive base as well. I was considering selling him, but I will actually maybe just keep him for a while in my collection because he kind of fits in with my, you know, deco and golden theme. And he's, again, just really, really pretty. So feeling very lucky and grateful that I own this really rare model now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this haul video. Let me know in the comments below which one of my models that I purchased is your favorite. And I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye!